Today, I'm continuing my series on the different phases of EMDR therapy. If you haven't watched the first two videos covering phases 1 through 4, they're linked in the description below. I highly recommend watching those first for context. Don't worry, I'll wait. I've got a book to read. Okay, if you didn't watch them, here's a quick recap of the scenario we've been using. You're coming in for EMDR therapy after a car accident because you feel anxious every time you get into a car. We've identified that this anxiety is tied to a negative belief, I'm in danger. You've rated the distress as high on the SUD scale. And the positive belief you'd like to believe about yourself now is, it's over. I'm safe now. Now that we're all caught up, let's talk about phase 5, installation, and phase 6, body scan. The goal of the installation phase is to strengthen the positive belief so it can really take root and begin to displace the old negative one. But we only move on to this phase after your distress about the memory has come down significantly. So, what used to be a 7 or an 8 or a 9 on the SUD scale should now be down to a 0 or a 1. I'm going to ask if the original positive belief that was chosen during phase 3, the assessment, is still the right fit with the event. It's normal that it may shift or change because we've reprocessed the disturbing event. For example, the original positive belief in our example is, it's over, I'm safe now. And it could change to, I'm a powerful person. The important thing is that it's the client who chooses this. It's not me, it's about you. It's your process. Once we decide on the positive belief, I'll ask you to focus on the original target and the positive belief at the same time. While you do this, I'll engage in that bilateral stimulation, so that eye movement process. We are still in reprocessing mode here. So, just like in phase 4 of desensitization, we use fast eye movements. Throughout, I'll check in using the validity of cognition scale, or the VOC, which tells us how true the new belief feels to you when you think about the target we're working on. The VOC scale goes up to 7. 1 is completely false, and 7 is totally true. Our goal is a score of 7. Once the VOC is stable and it is 7, we move on to the next phase, the body scan. In the body scan phase, this is where we check for any residual somatic distress. In other words, any lingering physical sensations that still might be tied to the memory. This can include things like tightness in your chest, a clenched jaw, or sweaty palms. I'll ask you to bring up the memory and the positive belief to mind together, and then scan your body from head to toe. If anything feels off, like tightness or unusual or unfamiliar sensations, we'll go back to using bilateral stimulation to help clear that up. The idea is that even if your mind feels like things are resolved, your body still might be holding on to some tension. This phase helps ensure that the new belief is integrated both mentally and physically. Once the positive belief feels very true and your body feels clear of all distress, we move on to the two final phases of EMDR therapy. I will talk about those in the next video. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please be sure to do so you don't miss it.